Hello my friends, if you like my work, please remember to click thumb up, subscribe to my channel or hit the notification bell to be informed about new videos. I'd just like to say thank you to all my patrons, please join them if you can, the link is in the description below. I start with the reminder of where I left the previous episode and encouragement for those who didn't want to work on building the model. I'm really pleased with the effect, especially that the set is quite simple in construction and doesn't have many details. And having couple seconds, I would like to thank my wonderful patrons. These guys make it possible for me to do what I love on coldemonspl. Thanks a lot guys. I will tell you how to join this group in a moment. It's very easy, just couple clicks and you are logged in. As always, I start preparing for painting by disassembling the model into elements that are easier to paint separately. Exceptionally, I left the main wheels because I won't be painting them using masks. In the photos of the real vehicle I noticed that the entire wheels are painted in camo colors, so I decided to do something similar on my model, but it will be more interesting, I hope. That's why I didn't waste time removing them from the model. Generally, before I start any painting work, I would like to tell you what my plan is for the appearance of the vehicle. Camo first. What the producer offers and proposes is of course a copy of a real vehicle, but I decided that my model will look more like a vehicle already serving in regular units, which is of course still in plans at the moment. That's why I decided to change the shade of green to a more subdued color, because this bright shade looks nice on a clean vehicle at shows, but I don't like the look of the combat machine with this shade used in the field at all. Besides, tanks are usually dirty and dusty, so the subtleties of color aren't important to me in this case. Secondly, I decided to add markings that are not present in the model. Yeah, the producer didn't add any markings, which is not surprising at all, because the vehicles shown are displayed without any tactical markings. Of course, I assembled them from other sets, but more on that in a moment. As you have just seen, I glued nuts to the hull and turret to attach temporary handles, which are ordinary large screws. Simple, effective and cheap. The model is ready for cleaning. I don't know if you already know one of my favorite products, which is model degreaser. If you know it, it won't be new to you, and if you don't know it, 2 sentences about it. It's product for cleaning the surface of the model before painting. It can be used on all types of materials and removes dirt caused during the construction of the model. Its great advantage is the drying time, which can be counted in seconds, after which the model is ready for painting. The fastest and the most effective way to wipe the model is with a white brush, exactly as you can see here. The first layer was black primer from AK Interactive. In this way it prepares the surface for applying subsequent layers of paint. I start with a mix of NATO black, British blue black and satin varnish. This way I create my own shade of dark grey for the first pixels. After mixing with thinner and throwing in a steel shaker, I have a ready-made paint that I apply to the entire model. If you are wondering why the whole model and not only the places where black pixels are planned, the answer is very simple. I know from my experience that if you paint only some places, it will later turn out that you need to apply corrections, because not all masked pixels will have the right color depth. This happens to me in the past, so I have been painting the entire model in every shade of camo for a long time. For a moment I was wondering which version of camo to choose, but innate laziness and the possibility of using a set of ready-made masks won. Besides, my wife also said that the small pixels look much better than the big ones. So let's get to wrapping the model. The drawing with the location of individual elements visible here are very helpful. Maybe in some places you have to wait and think a little longer, but in general you can see everything you need here. I must say that the quality of the mask, their preparation, their cutout is very good and certainly saves time necessary for self-preparation. It would be even better if the manufacturer prepared the same set for the second camo version. Earlier I mentioned that I will tell you how to join my patrons. It's very easy because now there is a chance to enter this superb group without pay a penny for 7 days free trial. You need to fill all gaps Patreon wants and then you can surf on my page with no limits, watch and download all superb high resolution pictures, watch progress shots, check stories with unpublished in other media's models, read the articles and enjoy other benefits, but about the 7th day you need to decide if you stay with me or go back home. This way you can check whether you like what I publish for my patrons or not. It would be superb if you join this group. Each single Patreon, each subscription, like and comment help me do what I do here at coldemonspl and what I love the most. Your support is highly appreciated and thanks to this I will try to give you some interesting content to keep you informed and entertained. As I said, I used a different shade for the green. This one is good enough and I repaint the entire model leaving no blank space according to my explanation I gave couple seconds ago. The whole procedure of sticking mask is repeated. Oh, and it's worth mentioning that there are also a few extra stripes that can be used for additional elements or to complement the existing pixels. In my opinion, a very good idea. Good job, amusing. The main base color is another paint mix. This time the main color here is grey with a bit of 2 shades of brown. Now I'm also painting the whole model, remembering about all the elements that I skipped before. I'm mainly thinking about wheels and chassis here. And the moment of truth. I gently remove all the masks and check if the job is done. In some places, especially on the dark grey, some corrections need to be made, but the rest of the pixels are okay. Unfortunately, masks are, in my opinion, disposable. Of course you can try to use them again, but I think the glue is not as strong as for the first time. Because of this, the paint would probably flow under the tape without problems and ruin all the previous work. And one more note, it's worth removing the masks on individual panels, carefully checking whether all pieces are peeled off. It happens to me several times on previous models that a small pixel was missed and I found it in the next stages. In general, building the entire pixel camo is quite easy and contrary to appearances, if we have prepared masks like here, it's quite quick. Of course, it all depends on the number of colors. Usually it's a 3-color camo, but there are even 4 or 5 colors. Then there is much more work. And of course when we have to prepare masks ourselves. This greatly extends the working time. Therefore, once again I emphasize that the great advantage of this set is the package of masks prepared by the producer. As I mentioned, a few minor touch-ups with the brush were necessary. Black paint was used for several elements. Little things, however, needed painting. Oh, one thing, Nutter station was supposed to be covered with decals. However, when I looked at this element, I decided that I would put it aside and paint the whole thing black. I'd love to see someone do it with this sticker from the set and make it look good. I have some doubts as to whether this solution is okay. It seems to me that this is the weakest point of the model, but I could be wrong. With the airbrush loaded with paint, I also painted the exhaust and the area around it, making a bit of dirt, which will later be highlighted with pigment anyway. As I mentioned earlier in the pictures of the vehicles from the exhibitions, the wheels are painted entirely in camo. I will do it traditionally, but some will be left untouched around the edges and others will be painted normally. A bit of variety will be useful even though the model is motley. I removed the masking tape from the periscopes and I have some cool looking glasses with a dark background. Red transparent paint, the same like silverware used for optics. Like the Leopard 2, the red bolts on the wheels will be a nice detail as long as they are visible after weathering. Of course, also silver abrasions on the drive wheels and screws are also points brightening the dust of the field. One quick note, the drive wheels for the Leopard shouldn't be silver all over the teeth. I saw the vehicle up close and the tips of the teeth were camo color with no paint worn off. I don't know if it's always the case, but it's worth remembering. It's a pity that I didn't know it earlier because I would paint the wheels in my Leopard 2 A6 like that. I also painted the towing cables with silver paint as a base color for later weathering. Still using silver paint, I painted over the heads of the screws. This trick is useful for adding extra colors and spicing up the overall look of the model. You can also add some silver after weathering using a pencil. I used gunmetal to paint the trucks. I know that now many may say that this color is completely unsuitable, but in my opinion is quite opposite. After painting the rubber pads and adding weathering like dirt and dust, they will look natural and probably no one will question the base color then. I didn't come up with it myself. Photos of the real vehicles are the best reference. Just search for a while on Google. As you can see, I don't play with the color application. With the end result in mind, it doesn't matter if the paint will lie perfectly or there will be some imperfections somewhere. I have already mentioned the set of decals and here it is in its entirety. I assembled it from various sets I had in my collection. There are stickers of Leopards, Tiger and other vehicles of the Bundeswehr. First I covered the places under the decals with VMS gloss varnish. In addition I sprayed a thin layer on the rest of the model. To empt the decals I used the liquid from VMS, which is designed to perfectly blend the stickers into the surface. All the decals add more life to the model, that's for sure. Now it looks more like a vehicle in service than a vehicle on display. And this was the last job I did in this episode. The model looks great and I'm sure that after weathering it will turn into real killer. All the work to make its appearance more realistic will be shown in the next episode. For now you can be sure that it will be dusty, dirty and covered with mud. You know how much I love working with pigments and other dirt making products. It will all be soon. Thanks for watching and don't forget to subscribe to my channel, give a like and write a comment. That's all for today, see you next time, cheers!